This time, I take a ride through the Peak District. And before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.
Okay, so the big plan for today, hopefully, is to try and make it up somewhere near the Peak District. And although it's midweek, it seems rather busy on the roads at the moment. A lot of roadworks going on, so there's an awful lot of barriers being thrown up and away, so I'm going to change my route somewhat. So we'll see where we get to. I was hoping to fly the drone today, but to be honest it's a bit windy, so I think that doesn't seem very likely really. But we'll see when we get there, you never know. So the Peak District National Park became a national park in 1951, and some people call it the Derbyshire Peaks, but that's not really correct. I mean, a lot of it is in Derbyshire, that's true, but the area stretches all the way up to the southern part of Yorkshire and Western Yorkshire, as well as areas in Cheshire, and of course my home county of Staffordshire too, so it's a very rugged area. I think it looks quite like areas in Scotland. There's open moorlands, I've been in the Yorkshire moors, something like that. It's quite high up, so it'll be quite windy. And can be blooming cold as well this time of year. The Staffordshire part of the peaks is some of the most beautiful, as a matter of fact. I am of course biased, but it also includes what is said to be the highest village in England, and it's a village called Flash. Flash is probably most noted locally for being the place most likely to be cut off by snow. It does get cut off quite a few times during the year, on average of course. At the moment who knows, but quite often you go up there and it's a little bit cold everywhere else in Staffordshire. You get up to Flash and it's a bloody blizzard, so it's quite a wild old place, Flash. It's very pretty. A lot of people will park there and use it as a jumping off point for a walk, and there's some very nice walks around the area. Again, very rugged, and very beautiful, very wild, and not surprisingly very windy. So if you want to walk around there, wrap up warm and take some waterproofs with you, because the weather is very changeable. We are in Staffordshire at the moment. This is now North Staffordshire, heading just towards Stoke-on-Trent, and we've just left Shropshire. Yeah, this is a good road, nice and twisty. Me and Tom came down here a couple of weeks ago. I was picking up from the hospital, and we actually got buzzed by a bloody eagle. I mean, it was absolutely enormous. I have no idea what species it was because I was too busy ducking. I mean, I wouldn't be exaggerating to say that it very nearly hit Tom straight on the head. A little bit of excitement for sure. So we're approaching Stoke-on-Trent currently, going downhill. We're just on the outskirts. So it's still pretty. I mean, Stoke's an industrial town. Pretty it is not. I'll be honest, I mean, it really isn't. And I can say that because I was born there, you know, I'm not slagging the place off. It's an industrial town, and industrial towns aren't designed for their aesthetics. No siree. But it's got the advantage of being in some wonderful countryside. So the great thing about being born here is it's bloody easy to get out into nice pretty countryside. I mean, even as a kid you could walk into the country. It's not like living in a huge conurbation. Well, we're currently riding through Stoke. Okay, it's not one of the more downtrodden bits, I'll grant you. It's quite a nice area actually. Got a lot of parkland around here. Well, we're heading in towards Wetley Rocks and what looks like more bloody traffic. There has been an awful lot of roadworks on this route, I have to say, today. So it's starting to get more rugged out there, isn't it? Okay, so this is the very small town of Wetley Rocks. Well, it's a very small village of Wetley Rocks. Kitted up for Halloween. And the rocks are just there ahead. And really they mark probably the beginning of the Peak District, which you can see is now spreading out in front of us. You used to get really good access to the rocks years ago, and you could climb up them. It's become very overgrown in recent years, but certainly when I was young we used to ride over here on push bikes, which is flipping hard work, I have to say, because it's pretty hilly, and then we go and climb the rocks. Okay, we've got another very small town to go through shortly before we get into Leek, which is the last major town, as I said, before the Peak District. Just left Leek. As you can tell by the incline on the roads, it's as always of inclines, it looks flatter on camera. We are now well and truly in the Peak District. You can also tell because it's starting to get very exposed, and we'll also be clearing the tree line in a moment, so we'll go down here. Come on. There we go. Heading to a rock formation called the Roaches, or locally called the Roaches. Also includes a rock called the Winking Man. There's a sort of gap in the rocks, and it looks as if it's winking as you go by. I can never see it, to be honest. I mean, Deb's always saying, oh yeah, oh, you see the Winking Man, and I look at it and think, yeah, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, really. So yeah, I don't always see it. Don't know why. I just don't see it. Maybe it's my lack of imagination. I'm sure that's what Deb would say. Temperature's definitely going down as we're heading up into the peaks. We're only going to be up there a short time. Tom's called and he's heading back from uni. He's finished what he's doing for the day. You can see where we're heading now, up ahead. And I have to use the gearbox a little bit on this tiny engine little beast to get up there, but we shall see. We shall see. I'm wondering how well this talky little long strut engine is going to do, because I think ultimately the lack of GGs might tell today. But I think it's a very spectacular area to go to it, and we are climbing. I mean, most of Staffordshire at altitude, the peaks doubly so. They're very high. Got to climb, they're going to turn at the top, and we're going to go behind the Roaches and have a look at the area behind them. It's quite nice to have a little walk around. It's not a large area behind, but no, it's big enough. I think it's this one. I think it's this one. I might be wrong. I have been known to get these things wrong from time to time. It's not this one. Oh, you bastard! Go on. Oh, look at that. Over there, the open area there is actually used as a military firing range. So a lot of sheep tend to get mysteriously killed accidentally during the year, which I'm sure annoys the farmers greatly. think we've got a turn just by this little tiny farmhouse, if I remember rightly. So the road is the road. Yeah, there's the road. There we go. There we go. It's a very steep, bumpy road. So this is the Roaches. Yes, it's pretty steep. It's quite a popular area of climbers, this, for obvious reasons. You do get kind of people come climbing up here, which I'm sure keeps the mountain rescue busy. I think. So this is the Roaches. Very popular tourist attraction at the weekends. A lot of walkers and climbers up here. Quiet today though. So we'll just climb up here and should get a really good view of the road below and the valley once you get to the top. Looks at the rock formation up ahead. Looks about the back lot in Hollywood. Well, a little bit. A bit greener. A very short walk up here. It just takes a few minutes. Now, the Roaches gets its name from the French La Roche, which simply means rocks. The formation stands 505 metres, that's about 1600 feet, above sea level. It's mostly composed of gritstone, and is very popular, as we've said, with climbers and walkers. And the area itself was made part of the Peak District National Park in the 1980s. In 2013, Staffordshire Wildlife Trust took control of the management of the estate itself. These days it's free to visit, although parking is very limited. That's why I always go on a bike. There's very little room, particularly on a weekend, to actually park your car. In the 1930s, the area was home to a colony of Bennett's wallabies, although it's now believed that the animals are extinct. It's all pretty wild up here. That's Rudyard Lake. It's the lake after which Rudyard Kipling was named, oddly enough. From the top on a clear day, they say you can see large stretches of Cheshire and Staffordshire, and sometimes as far as Wales and the Snowdonia National Park. Certainly bracing up here.
to the bike, I think. 10 of the ride. Ah, there she is. There we go. Safe and sound. Back to the bike. Right, so walk around the Roaches done. And we'll head back. We've got some sun to ride on. Try anyway. Feels like the weather's closing in. So we head back soon. I was planning to fly the drone up there, but a bit too windy, I have to say. When I say a bit, I mean obviously way too windy. So we'll take a last look at the Roaches as we go by. We can work out this whole winking man business, because yeah, there's a sort of man face at the end of the rocks though. You should see that. Does he wink? Does he wink? Does he go by? No, I don't know. No, I don't know. Not convinced. So yeah, onto the main moors now, and it's pretty wild out here actually. Weather's definitely closing in. Oh yes, it's good and windy, alright. Pretty wild. Got a lot of guys in the summer, hopefully when it's a bit less windy, that have to come flying up here on the bikes. I suppose because it's a little bit like the mountain section I always imagine of the TT course, with similar deadly consequences if you get it wrong. And back in towards the Roaches, we'll swing through Leek. Slow down, Mr. Trucker. Swing through the Roaches, and then down through Leek. Home we go, which, see, oh yay, I don't feel it. We sort of got hold of the peak on the helmet a little bit. Right, so we're approaching Leek. After Leek is a small town, just after that on the way out, called Cheddleton. Now Cheddleton, in the local area, is best known for the psychiatric hospital that used to be there called St Edward's.
This is the old St Edward's Hospital, and I did work here as a student. Like I said, it was a very strange and melancholic time. Hospital was closing down in the early 90s, and now it's been developed into housing. I mean, all the parkland that's around is now covered in houses. So it's strange, I haven't been here since all those years ago. I think it was Christmas 1990 last time I stood here. I actually arrived on my bike on a parking here over Christmas. It was freezing. I had to come basically through the lower part of the peaks just to get here, so it's quite a cold journey. It seems strange to be here again, actually.
Well, I do hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. And of course, thank you very much for watching.